Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Ancient History series. We are now moving towards chapter number 4, that is Mahajanapada period. This chapter is very important in the context that we have specified sources to reconstruct the history of this period. As usual, like in every chapter, we have seen so far Vedic period, before that Indus Valley Civilization. What are the topics which we are going to discuss? In this chapter also, these are the topics which we are going to discuss. Political life of Mahajanapadas, economic life, social life, religious life, art and culture, science and technology. Do you see? Are you seeing the pattern here? Same structure will come for every chapter. Identify this art and culture. Generally, if there is a question on Buddhism, Jainism, philosophy, students are thinking that it is a separate subject called art and culture. No, it is not a separate one. It is one component of this chapter. That is why in every chapter you have to see art and culture as one of the dimensions of that particular time period. If you do in this way, then it becomes easy for you to answer the questions related to art and culture. You will never feel mugged up. You never feel that you are facing very big trouble in remembering the facts related to art and culture. Never, don't remember that. Always see in the context of the story. Every philosophy, every religious movement emerges out of socio-economic and technological and political developments of that particular time period. That's why holistic dimension, holistic index of every chapter is going to be like this. Within political life, we have sub-dimensions. 16 Mahajanapadas, type of kingdoms, rise of Magadha, invasions from Khyber Pass. Let us start with this. If we see the map, are you identifying this? Some kind of names are available here. Do you see some kind of names? In case of Indus Valley Civilization, whatever names we have seen in Indus Valley, like can you remember what are the some important sites of Indus Valley? Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhu-daro, Kalibangan, Banavali, Rakigadi. What are these names? These are not the names given by Harappan people. These are the names today we are calling these places. But when it comes to this, uniqueness is that only. Whatever names you are identifying here, these are the names called by those people only who are living around this time period. That is the specialty from this time period onwards. We will get the actual names what our Indians were calling themselves. That is why we have many sources to reconstruct the story that happened during this time period. Do you see different names? And these names are, some of them are the names of the kingdoms. But in those times, these kingdoms were like very big kingdoms according to their standards. Today, they are like small kingdoms for our standard. But for them, those who were living 2600 years ago, for them, their kingdoms were very big. Because communication development was not there. Only people have to move on foot or bullock carts or horses, like that only, or rivers. It takes many days to reach a few kilometers. That's why the villagers who were born in a particular village, hardly they will go out of that village. Even today also in remote villages it used to happen. In those times you can imagine thick forests, rivers, mountains, people very difficult to move from one place to the other place. That's why even 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers radius also they used to feel that it is very big. That's why these were called Mahajanapadas. Maha means great, Mahajanapadas means kingdoms. That is the chapter. This is the uniqueness of this particular time period. The timeline here you see 600 BC to 321 BC. If I draw the timeline, this is how the history is evolving. We are in story which is happening in 600 BCE. That means how many years before Jesus? 600 years before Jesus. Now, if you go back to 1000 BC, that means 1000 years before Jesus. What is this? This time period we called later Vedic time period. We have already seen their political life, their economic life, their social life, religion, art and culture we have seen, their science and technology. Before that, 1500 BC to 1000 BC, what we call Rigvedic period. Rigvedic period. So what is the story? What is the geographic location of Rigvedic period? Indus region. What is the geographic, the story of later Vedic period? Gangetic Valley. Now when it comes to 600 BC, now we are moving into a story which is going to happen across India, whether it is Indus, whether it is Gangetic, whether it is Narmada Valley, whether it is Godavari Valley, across India. Are you seeing this? Now, gradually we are getting the sources, we are getting the evidences to know about ourselves across India around this time period. But before that, we have limited sources. That is where 600 BC onwards, the story is going to change in a new direction. But again, whatever developments that are taking place, for example, if it is the political condition of, if we are discussing political life of these people, is it isolated? No. This is the story that continues. Do you see this? Here basic like tribal kingdoms, and here monarchies emerged. Now when it comes to this, both tribal kingdoms also continue, monarchies also continue. That is how when it comes to Mahajanapada time period, the society, economy, politics are going to continue from previous period. In addition to that, some new elements will come. Always. Suppose when we move to the next topic, that is Mauryan time period. What you have to think? You should not think Mauryan period as an isolated development. Whatever happened up to 321 continues, and new elements will come in Mauryan time period. Do you see? So now it is the right time to see one question here related to mains, that why when many civilizations like Mesopotamia and Egyptian civilization have seen some kind of discontinuity. That means Egyptian civilization also contemporary to Indus Valley civilization, but those cultures have seen discontinuity. Completely there is a break in that, and some kind of new civilization or new cultures emerged. But it is different from Indian civilization, that we are continue even today also, even till today, we are remembering the practices that are started by our ancestors 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 1 lakh years ago also. That's why before this IVC, before this Stone Age. So now by this time it is very clear that whatever we are talking, whatever the story which we are going to understand, that is the reflection of the developments which started. Once any particular idea comes, that will continue to survive. That is the uniqueness of Indian history. Already one question was also asked. The question is, in comparison with other civilizations, India witnessed continuity in its culture since past, since ancient times. Why? Why? That is the question. As we proceed, you are going to get that. Simply, the answer is, they did not destroy. IVC people did not destroy whatever culture they inherited. Vedic people did not destroy whatever culture they inherited. Mahajanapadas did not destroy whatever they inherited. That is the simple answer. Only you have to give various evidences. That is why. So now by this time period, now you are getting one more very analytical question, that why there is continuity means Indian rulers, Indian people are not going to discard the previous elements, and in fact they are going to encourage and continue and take it forward. Now the rest of story is how it happened. Okay, so this is why we are going to see the story that happened between 600 BC to 321 BC, and after 321 Mauryan Empire will come. During this time period from 600 BC to 321 BC, there were some developments. What is the unique development of this time period means? In this time period, different kingdoms were flourishing. And here is a prelims question also. I will show you the prelims question also in the end. We are going to deal with the first topic, that is, what is the first topic? The first topic is political life of Mahajanapadas. In that political life, we are going to deal in this particular video, this one, 16 Mahajanapadas. The crux of this video, the content of this video is going to be 16 Mahajanapadas. Let us see what are they. In this time period, what is the time period? 600 BC to 321 BC. During this time period, there were many Mahajanapadas. In the prelims point of view, you are going to get the names of these Mahajanapadas. What are the names? In present day Bengal, there was one kingdom. Today, it appears like a very small territory, but for them it is a very big kingdom. That's why they were called Mahajanapadas. How many kingdoms are there? 16 kingdoms are there. Who told this? Did anyone alive who witnessed what happened in 2600 years ago? Is there any person who alive? No. But the texts, the literature which was written in this time period, that is surviving. Do you see the importance of script? Do you see the importance of literature here? That's why based on literature only, entire history also classified into 3 segments. Prehistory, no writing. Historic period, since the evolution of writing. And the script is known to those people, but we are not able to read proto-history. So literally, our history also divided into 2 components, history and prehistory. But even though there is no writing, that is also history. This classification is to highlight the importance of literature, knowledge, writing skills. That is why the story that happened in this time period, today also we are reading, means thanks to the literature that prevailed since that time period. If there is no such literature, we don't know about this story. We don't know about our greatness. It is like just erasing the memory. Even though you are great, and if there is no memory, you are nothing. And if you are nothing, then many other countries will, powerful countries will come and start saying that they are very powerful and Indians are very less developed. They are going to rule you. Like British came here and started telling that we are advanced, you are less advanced, we are ruling you. We will make you developed. The moment Indians also came to know about our own great past, then it gives self-confidence among the Indians that whatever British are telling, the same kind of institutions were there, same kind of democracy is there in our past also. That's why we are more experienced than the British people. That kind of confidence, self-respect will come by knowing more and more evidences, the more and more stories, the facts which comes from this literature. What are these? From this literature, they mentioned 16 kingdoms are there. Probably there could be more kingdoms also. But whatever sources we are reading, they mentioned about 16 Mahajanapadas. What are these sources? There are some Buddhist sources. There is a book called Anguttara Nikaya. Anguttara Nikaya. Prelims question. From which text we know about Mahajanapadas? Very important prelims question. Anguttara Nikaya. It is related to which religion? Buddhism. Next one. Sanskrit or the Brahmanical literature. So one is Buddhist sources. Another one is Brahmanical sources. Brahmanical sources. Very important book. Already asked multiple times in prelims also. This is Ashtadhyayi. What is the book name? Ashtadhyayi. Who wrote? Panini. The person name Panini, is it the person, the name? Are we giving it a modern name? No. The person name, that was the type of name that was prevalent in 600 BC. So, Ashtadhyayi, written by Panini. This also mentions about great kingdoms. Anguttara Nikaya Buddhist source also mentioned about 16 great kingdoms. According to them, they praised them as if they are very large kingdoms. What are they? Coming to the 16 Mahajanapadas, one is in Bengal, one kingdom is there that is known as Anga. I am writing a few important Mahajanapadas. Remaining things I will show you in the map. In Bengal, this is the kingdom. In Bihar, there is a kingdom called Magadha. Like that, in UP also some Mahajanapadas are there. In Rajasthan also one kingdom is there. In Northwest also one famous kingdom is there. That is known as Gandhara. Gandhara kingdom. Now, even in Madhya Pradesh also one powerful kingdom is there. That is known as Avanti. Even in Deccan, present day Maharashtra region, there is one kingdom called Ashmaka. In this year itself, prelims question was asked on Ashmaka. Now come back to the geographical location. Do you remember the geographical features of India? If we go to rivers, what are the rivers? What is the important river that is there here? That is Indus River. What is the river that is prevailing here? Ganga River. Now how UPSC will ask? Gandhara, which river? Match the following. Then Magadha, which river? Avanti, Narmada River. Ashmaka, Godavari River. What it is saying? Rivers, the lifeline of these kingdoms are these rivers. Suppose if there is no river for us today, can we live? No. That's why. Suppose there is a kingdom called, in present day Uttar Pradesh, called Kosala. One important river that flows there is Sarayu River. And Sarayu River is the same river on which Ayodhya city was there. When Ramayana story happened, Ramayana talks about Sarayu River, Ayodhya. That these are the names. Today also we are calling same name like Godavari, Sindhu River, Ganga, Yamuna. These are the names they have given. So whatever the naming which they named, even after 2000 years also, 3000 years also, we are calling them with the same names. That is how the ancient culture means, that only. Whatever names we are calling today, these are not the names given by us today. These are the names given by our ancestors 2000 years ago, 3000 years ago. Vedic period onwards, these names are going on. That's why Sanskrit literature laid foundation for the future culture in terms of literature. By 600 BC, other languages also emerged. One is Sanskrit, another one is Pali. So now with respect to this, what is the language spoken by these people at this point of time? Some people are speaking Sanskrit. Today, if you take this region, what is the majority religion, majority language of these people? Hindi. Other language, Urdu. Other language, depending on, see, so many dialects are there. Within Hindi belt also, so many dialects, different variants in Hindi speaking population. And if you go to this area, Bengali. And if you go to Ashmaka, Marathi, that is today. But in those times, one language is Sanskrit, another language Pali. Another language, Prakrit. So these are the languages which they were speaking at that time. This Anguttara Nikaya is written in this language. And when it comes to Ashtadhyayi, written in this language. Getting this? What our ancestors were speaking. What are our sources? Already you got 3-4 prelims questions. Be very, very careful with this. What is the Buddhist source from which we know about Mahajanapadas? Anguttara Nikaya. What is the source Sanskrit book? Ashtadhyayi, Panini. And in fact, it is written in Sanskrit and it is a Sanskrit grammar. So what is Ashtadhyayi? It is a Sanskrit grammar. What Panini has done. How Rigveda? Was it written in the Phoenician times? No, it was just oral tradition. People singing hymns, praising the gods. And after some time, when more number of hymns became very, very complex, so many Vedas emerged, 4 Vedas emerged. But they were speaking Sanskrit language. Now, a person called Panini wanted to properly organize this Sanskrit language and gave a grammar. That grammar is known as Ashtadhyayi. This is the time period, Mahajanapada time period. So with this, so far you could understand various Mahajanapadas were there. What are the sources? And also the rivers, important rivers on which these Mahajanapadas are there. Now, if I go to map, then you will understand various Mahajanapadas. Now, do you see this? Are you able to identify? Anga. Anga. Is it clear? Is it visible? Magadha. Then Avanti, Matsya, Gandhara, Kamboj, Kuru, Panchala, Vatsa, Surasena, Chedi, Kashi, Koshala, Malla, Varji, and Ashmaka. You see so many kingdoms. These are the kingdoms mentioned in those Buddhist and Sanskrit texts. Another important question is, what are the capitals of these Mahajanapadas? Another important question is, you need to identify what were the capitals of these areas. Suppose if you take Avanti, there were 2 capitals for this Mahajanapada or this great kingdom. One is Ujjaini, another one is Mahishmati. All of you might be knowing the name Mahishmati. It became very popular after the releasing Bahubali movie. And you see this? Present day art and culture movie is an expression of art and culture of today times. Even present day art and culture also getting inspiration from the ancient names, ancient kingdoms, ancient characters. That is how Indian culture is preserving. Now, are you getting the main question? Why Indian culture is continuously flourishing? Why continuously people are remembering our ancient past? Because even though we don't have like a formal education like we have, in those times a different type of education was there. Through that education it prevailed, and another one through writings only, and also through oral tradition. People keep on telling these stories to the generations after generations. That is how they preserve. Ujjain, Mahishmati. If you take Matsya, Viratnagar, capital. Surasena, Mathura. Kuru, Indraprasth. Gandhara, Takshashila. Kamboj, there is one capital called Rajapura. Even today also we don't know exactly where it is located, whether it is in Pakistan, Afghanistan or Jammu and Kashmir, because there is no clarity. Generally, broadly, there is nothing, no map survived so far. Broadly, based on the description what they have done about these kingdoms, based on that, it is reconstructed that it is near Bihar region, Magadha kingdom is there, near Kashi, Varanasi, and Kaushambi, Vatsa, Chedi, here Tripuri. So Chedi, Shuktimati, not Tripuri, Shuktimati is the capital of Chedi. Likewise, different kingdoms were there, 16 Mahajanapadas. Please try to go through this map and remember the names of these 16 Mahajanapadas and their capitals also important. The sources for these Mahajanapadas, Anguttara Nikaya and Ashtadhyayi written by Panini, that is a Sanskrit book Anguttara Nikaya is in Pali book. Okay, so this is how 16 Mahajanapadas of this time period. The first topic about this is 16 Mahajanapadas. Time period 600 BC to 321 BC. 16 Mahajanapadas were there. Remember various Mahajanapadas and the names of the rivers on which these Mahajanapadas are there, and also the capitals. I will show you the question. You all of you try to answer this question. Can you identify this question? This year only, 2025 prelims question only. Identify this. Regarding ancient India, 600 to 321 BC, 322 BC, sometime 322 you will see, sometime 324, sometime 321, because exact very difficult to reconstruct. Consider these pairs: territorial region, river flowing in the region. Identify. Ashmaka, you know where is Ashmaka? This side river flowing, Godavari. Cambodia Mahajanapada, Vipas. Identify. This Vipas is what? Rigvedic name of one river that you have to answer. Identify that. You please watch the video of Rigvedic geographical extent. Then you will come to know the answer to this. That's why you see previous chapter also getting connected. This is Mahajanapada question, but now this name comes from Vedic period. That is how the questions are going to be connected in UPSC. Avanti, Mahanadi, and Kosala, Sarayu. How many pairs are correctly matched? So please try to answer this. Please write the answer in the comment box. This is how questions will come from Mahajanapadas. In 2025 only this question came. All of you go through this. All of you open the map of Mahajanapadas. Properly list out, note down all 16 Mahajanapadas and their capitals and try to answer this question. Alright. So with this, we have completed this particular topic, that is Mahajanapadas, 16 Mahajanapadas. In next video, we will try to analyze types of kingdoms. Alright, all the best. Thank you very much.